At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
I thank you very much for listening to the No Fruit Podcast. Now, what if the person holding you back was the younger you still waiting to be heard? Well, today, we sit down with Lisa Watson to talk about healing the inner child and how that journey leads to freedom, authenticity, and empowerment. We'll talk about it right after this.
Let's talk about love and marriage, the way that God intended. Life experience, here we share it. The No Fruit Podcast. Tune in from any platform. No Fruit Podcast. We'll help your spirit transform.
Welcome to another episode of the No Fruit Podcast. Again, we have Lisa Watson here. Lisa, so many people walk around today feeling disconnected, unfulfilled, without realizing that it's all tied to unhealed inner child within. From your experiences, from your background, from your wealth of knowledge, why is this such an important, crucial work that we dive into? And why do we often avoid doing it?
Ooh, two great questions. One, I have to say real quick, like your intro song, oh my God.
Thank you.
Gold.
Thank you.
I nearly started crying listening to that. I'm like, what a beautiful song.
Thank you.
I realized it was like your own jingle. I was like, whoa.
Right.
I just love that. Okay.
Thank you.
So inner child healing, the reason that it is so important is because the inner child, and I'm going to, try to sum this up, right?
Yeah.
I can't go into a whole long thing about it, but our beliefs are what create our reality. Mm-hmm. We have to first know who we really are,
right?
And that how this reality that we live in is constructed. And that's just a really important piece that we cannot skip before jumping right to the inner child. Because you have to understand that we're all energy, and that there is really no time, and that we actually live in a holographic reality that is created based on the beliefs that we hold. And it's crazy for some people, but we're becoming as a planet more aware and awake to quantum physics and this holographic reality, and it's been proven by science. It's not mainstream, I would say, necessarily, but the information is there, and lots of people are aware of it. So if you're not, it's time to get on board, okay? We live in a holographic reality, and your beliefs create that reality. The inner child was developed during the first 7 years of our life, and the way I have this little story that I use to explain it is we're spiritual beings having an experience in this physical body. I like to call this physical body an avatar. Imagine it as an avatar, and the brain is the operating system to the avatar.
Right.
In the first 7 years of life is when all of the programs are downloaded into the avatar to teach it about its world. Otherwise, it's just an empty computer that comes with no programs. It can't make a spreadsheet because it doesn't have Excel in there. It doesn't have Word. It doesn't have any applications or programs to understand. So a child is in the theta brainwave state during the first 7 years of life, which is the same brainwave state they put you in to put you under hypnosis. Children are literally sponges absorbing everything as truth. They don't have the prefrontal cortex developed. They don't have logic, reason. They're not weighing things one way or the other or putting any real meaning to anything other than truth.
Yes.
Truth. This is what it is. My mother says money doesn't grow on trees, we'll never have enough. That's truth. I will create a life where I never have enough if that belief is embedded in me as a small child. You know, relationships are difficult, men are mean, you know, mothers abandon you. Like, whatever your experience was, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving because I get in trouble when I'm myself. It's not safe to be my authentic self. Whatever little messages you receive during these years become your truth of this reality, which you then create. And that's the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is running the show over 95% of the time. We're not in the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is where we can be present in this now moment. The subconscious mind is really tied to the past. It's designed, it's perfectly designed so that we can save energy basically as these avatars, because then we don't have to process or think about absolutely everything. It's just automatic. It's just the way that it is, and it's what we do and it's what we know. We don't even realize we're running off of these belief systems.
So when we consider this, as I'm listening to you, because it makes me think about a whole bunch of movies, right? I think about, when you say Avatar, I think I'm Big and Blue, or you know, even think about me being in the Matrix as well. You know, and I'm thinking about those thoughts and those processes that I've gone through with my parents. Again, like you said, all those negative effects or realizations. Hey, you know, no, don't touch that light switch. You know, don't touch the door. All these things that kind of pulls us back, and that we almost associate. And I only can speak about myself. You know, I had a whole lot of negative feedback that I can remember. I don't remember a whole lot of positive things. I don't remember, you know, being picked up. I would say, you know, using this as an example, being picked up and hugged or whatever else. I remember those moments of saying, hey, don't do that though. And I remember the consequential type stuff, but I don't remember any of the happiness stuff. So why do we, again, continue to avoid to look at that inner child, especially those first 7 years? Because everyone may not always have that same type of experience that I had, but I come across way more people that really avoid that space.
I think the reason, and I'm sure it's a little bit different for each person, but there's a few reasons that I've seen with my clients, excuse me, of why people don't want to do inner child work. And one, I'm just going back to my own self when I first started doing inner child work and what like kind of happened prior to that, why I didn't. One, I didn't realize the importance of it. I didn't realize that my inner child was actually my subconscious mind, and that I could hack my subconscious mind by going into my inner child and literally just reparenting her. I just had to give her and tell her everything that I wished my parents had done for me. I just have to rewrite the scripts. Think of us as computers, that these are like literal programs being downloaded into our operating system through the words that we hear and the behaviors that we see. They become the scripts that we just play out. So one, people don't realize that their inner child is their subconscious mind, and their subconscious mind is what's running their reality. So there's that lack of knowledge right there would be one reason, like, well, what's the point? Why do I need to go back to my childhood? That just hurts when I think about things like that. Like, what's the purpose? Right. You know, I had a client the other day. It was actually like a consultation call for a new client, and she's like, I know, I've been avoiding it. I've been doing all this stuff, healing spiritual stuff, but I've really been avoiding the childhood trauma. Like, I don't want to go there. We're afraid, like, maybe, you know, we didn't have a great childhood. Those feelings didn't feel good. You know, I was basically abandoned. You know, the feelings of my childhood aren't great, like your own, right? So, no, it doesn't feel good. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to talk about it. This isn't talk therapy, and talk therapy doesn't work, I'll tell you, okay? Because it just takes you back, and it anchors in those same things that you then create out into your reality. All we have to do is acknowledge that the programs were downloaded and that they were disempowering. We just have to, the inner child work, what you have to understand, it's only about validation. You go back and you're like, I love this example. Like, let's say you're 3 years old and you have this beautiful white couch in your living room, and you grab a red Sharpie and you draw your mommy a beautiful picture on this nice white couch. I've seen that on TikTok. It happens. Or
Right.
on the wall or whatever, like, you know, toddlers are notorious for ruining your stuff. And mom comes in and mom is not happy, right? Naughty girl, naughty boy, whatever. You get time out. Maybe you don't get the snack you were going to get, or you don't get to go play. Like, you're punished.
Right.
You're naughty, you're bad, okay? 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, even anything under the age of 8 where they're still in the theta brainwave state are extremely impressionable during these times. So what all that child is hearing is, I am not good enough.
Right.
I'm bad. I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving. Maybe I'm not lovable, right? The other part of being under 8 is children are in what's called an egocentric point of view, which means that they're wired to think that everything is about them. And they're wired that way because they know that they need an adult for their survival. So they have to get their needs met. It's all about them and their connection and their needs, and how they only know them, and that they don't even realize they're actually separate from their parents, from their mother. They don't, like, really understand that yet. So when they're not good, they're bad, they're not worthy, they're not deserving, you're naughty, I'm not lovable, I'm not safe.
Right.
I may be abandoned. I have to please this being out here for my own survival. So what am I hearing? It's not okay to be your authentic self. It's not okay to draw. It's not okay to express yourself. I don't understand couches, money, aesthetics, time, cleaning. Clueless, right?
Right.
All I know is I'm bad, and I have to change who I am. And so we suppress our authenticity for the sake of survival. And this becomes part of our subconscious program, and we don't even realize it. Later in life, we may not do things that we want to do naturally, that are authentic to us, because we're weighing them against our own actual safety. And we don't realize, like, I didn't know this until I started going deep in my inner child healing, sitting in a dark closet for nearly 3 years, crying, releasing, processing, and connecting with a part of me that I realized was absolutely terrified and felt like she was going to die, and didn't understand why. Like, a trigger, a tone from my husband could send me into a place where the reality was I actually felt like I was going to die.
Wow.
And I had to go back and just sit with that feeling of, like, why do I feel like when I open this closet, like, I'm literally, like, going to disappear? What is that? And I traced it back to this feeling of not feeling safe. Like, I could be abandoned. I was naughty. I was sent to bed. I was spanked because I, did something, and I didn't get dinner that night. And my whole family got to eat dinner, but I had to go to my room, and I was not given food because of a behavior that I had. That's trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're innocent as parents to disciplining in this way. And honestly, like, there is no judgment. That's the other piece of what I teach and about inner child healing is, you are as innocent and as lovable as the day you were born. Like, think about a baby born, say into a wealthy family over here, and into a drug-addicted, abusive family over here. When both of those children are born, they come out of the mother and they're sitting there. Are they both equally as innocent and deserving?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
Right.
In my opinion, I don't care what you've done in your life, nothing has changed, because you are only a product of your environment and your programming and the way that you were treated and what you were taught to believe about yourself that caused you to act the way that you act.
Right.
And maybe you act out because you're seeking connection, you're seeking love. Your inner child is just screaming for someone to take care of her and love her and treat her well.
So,
The
Lisa.
beauty of inner child healing is you get to do it for you now.
Yeah.
You come save you. You come treat yourself like you wanted your parents to treat you.
So how do you give yourself that permission to rewrite the script? Because a lot of times we don't feel like we have the authority to do that. A lot of times we don't, because we've been told what to do, how to do it, when to do it on someone else's, timeline, whatever it is. So we don't always feel like we're empowered to do that. So how do we understand, hey, you know what? It's my time to write my story, to take over my life, to achieve my dreams and aspirations. Because a lot of times also, we as parents, we have a vision for our kids. We try to wire that in them as well. So at what point in time do we say, hey, you know what? It's time for me to take over my life and figure things out for myself?
As if you're speaking like at what age that kind of happens?
It doesn't have to be an age, just
right,
maybe it's a moment. It could just be a moment.
Well, your children, unfortunately, they really don't have that right and access to that as children. So it's not until their brains start to become more developed, like 16, 17, 18, where they can start to realize that the prefrontal cortex is engaging more now. They're still missing a lot of pieces. That's why teenagers are so much of a pain. But you just have the real answer to the question, Maurice, it's Maurice, right?
Yes.
Is you have to decide to face the fear of what other people believe. You have to decide that you're going to go against a belief system that is no longer working for you. And you just have to face it. You have to use your voice. You have to set a boundary. You have to walk away from things that no longer serve you. You have to stop giving your power away to beliefs that no longer serve you or allow you to be authentic. You have to leave that toxic relationship. You have to follow your joy, and it takes courage. You just have to be courageous. You have to believe. And what we all really need to know, the one thing only that you need to know, is that you are God. That you are God in form. And that we are all just a fractal piece of that God source energy, the atom that is God energy that makes up everything. Absolutely everything you're looking at is God, including you. And you're God having an experience through this avatar. It's been proven there is nothing but your own consciousness in this moment. You're creating this entire reality. And when you remember who you are, which I just remind myself, like all throughout the day. I mean, I do affirmations on headphones and walks every day, telling myself, reminding myself, I am God. This is my hologram. I created it. Everything that's happening is happening for me. I am worthy. I am deserving. And I can face any fear because I'm just going to create the solution. I don't ask myself how, when, who, doesn't matter. I know I'm going to create it because, damn it, I'm God in form. This reality is built out of energy. I'm energy. My thoughts are energy. My emotions are energy. All I have to do is keep them in alignment, get them in alignment with the reality I want to create. I just have to already believe that I'm there. You just have to method act. You have to step into the reality that you want to create for yourself, pretend it's already there, and tell yourself you're already there. We have to know our power. Our power has been kept from us. We've been lied to. These belief systems of this matrix, it's just like the Matrix movie. They've duped us. They've gaslit us into believing that we're not God. And it's time that we remember and we simply take that power back.
That's good.
Through inner child healing.
Yeah. So a lot of what I'm hearing from you is that, we have to be connected to the power, be connected to God. And then from that, I'm kind of gauging things to our computer or to our cell phones. We have to sometimes, there comes a glitch and something has to be fixed. We get those messages saying, hey, there's something that needs to be fixed. And you have to do an upgrade. You have to do a reboot. And I think that's kind of dealing with the inner child, is you're kind of rebooting things, and what was downloaded into us from the beginning, like you're saying, year 1 through 7 is fine, but sometimes there's a glitch in the system. Sometimes something went wrong or awry those first 7 years, but it's not all bad. And what you're saying is you reparent yourself, or you reboot things, and things can get changed around, and you can move forward from there. So how do we get to the rebooting part? How do we get to the reparenting part? Once we realize that, hey, some things were not what we wanted, we're looking at it and we know that there's some things that need to be fixed. Where do we go to get rebooted?
Okay. Well, first I want to say you nailed it. Okay? I've done two videos. They're on my TikTok and Instagram, I'm sure. One was about corrupt files.
Yeah.
They're called corrupt. They're simply you think of your reality as the PDF. The file was corrupt, and you printed it, and so you have this now corrupt reality. But there's nothing wrong. It's not the reality that this is the problem. We try to change the reality out there. We try to get things to change there. It's the corrupt file.
Yeah.
Belief
They go
system
deeper.
about
Yeah.
it. So you change here, and then the reality. And then I actually did another video. You're just making me laugh. That was literally like, we need to reboot the whole system.
Yeah.
We need a reboot. And we do this. It's not like I'm gonna go to Bali and have a retreat, and I'm gonna reparent myself. I'm gonna go to this yoga class, and It's a moment to moment. It's in the now moment where this stuff is done. It's the inner child work, the reparenting of yourself is when you're feeling the thing, when the trigger happens, when you're sabotaging yourself, when you're holding yourself back, when you're feeling the PTSD. I did a video, again, it's on my Instagram or my TikTok, but I'll just give you an example. I was in a narcissistic relationship for over 28 years. I now help women. It's one of my main things that I do, get out of toxic relationships, help them to see there's a door number 3, because for 28 years I saw 2 doors, and I didn't even know that third door existed. And I have PTSD from that relationship, from the control and the anger and things that happen. I have a different husband now. And recently we were out running errands, and I live in Mexico, and to get our water, we get it in these large 5-gallon jugs at the store, like go buy distilled water. And so I'm sitting in the front seat. My husband's like, I'll run in and get the waters, and he got 2 of them. So he's holding, two big 5-gallon things, one in each hand. And as he's approaching the car, he says, "Open the door." And so I have to lean back to the back seat and open the door for him, because I'm in the passenger seat just waiting. And all of a sudden, I feel like a little bit of panic come over me. So the work is tuning into your thoughts always, trying to feel in, how does my body feel right now, and having awareness to that.
Yeah.
So I had this awareness that I was suddenly feeling like almost panicked, a little bit nervous, and I'm like, I feel scared. And so I just sat there, and I'm like, what is this? And as I sat with it, I realized I was afraid he was going to yell at me, that I didn't open the door fast enough, because he was holding something heavy. And what if I didn't open it fast enough? I'm going to get yelled at, and he's going to, think I'm not, blah, blah, blah. All the things that my ex-husband would yell at me and tell me I don't do or care about or whatever, right? And so in that moment, I was just like, went right to my inner child, and I said, oh yeah, I get it. I just validated her feelings. I'm like, I get it. Yeah, that's scary. We went through that a lot, didn't we? We're not there anymore. I'm like, I'm her mom now, and I got her, and I'm pulling her off that timeline, and I pull her closer to me, and I'm like, we're not there anymore, baby. And that's how I talk to myself, and I rub my shoulder. I'm like, baby, it's okay. I'm like, Brian's not going to yell at us. He's not mad. I'm like, we're all right. And then I did something to regulate my nervous system, because what happens is we actually go into a fight, flight, or freeze. Because as I spoke about before, the child is actually in fear for their own life when they're not accepted. So it triggers the amygdala to trigger the nervous system to put you into a fight, flight, or freeze response. So we have to start to train our emotional system to get back to regulated. That's the key. it's not just the thoughts, it's the emotion and that we hold within our nervous system that is creating that reality.
Right.
So if we're always in fight or flight, we're going to continue to create a reality that's going to mirror back to us things that make us anxious, make us nervous, situations. Once we get our nervous system regulated on a regular basis, that is now normal to us. That will start reflecting into our reality. And so I just did a little bit of like EFT sort of tapping, getting my nervous system down. And then when my husband got into the car, I told him kind of what had happened. And I just said, can you do me a favor? And can you just say the words to me that I did it fast enough, that you're not mad at me? Can you just say that to me? It would help. And he just like parroted it. He was just like, you did it fast enough, baby. You're fine. You didn't do anything. He goes, you didn't do anything wrong. And I'm like, see, you didn't do anything wrong. You're okay. Like, you're okay. And you know what? If he did yell at you, I would be out of here. Like, I wouldn't allow that. I would say, hey, it's not okay for you to talk to me that way. And I have to show up for myself now.
Right.
And that's what I've had to do in this new marriage of mine, that I've been married 8 years now, is in the beginning, my husband challenged me with some of his patriarch behaviors, that he's not a narcissist, but we've been taught as a society, men have been taught some of these behaviors that really are narcissistic type of behaviors. And I've had to say, knowing he's not truly a narcissist at his core, but I'm like, hey, that's not okay. Like, you don't get to talk to me that way.
Right.
You talk to me kindly and with respect. Like, I can hear you with a quiet voice. You don't have to use that tone with me. And I don't allow it anymore. I disengage from it. Like, if you treat me that way, I leave the room. I don't go to dinner with you. I will not go on with a conversation if we don't clear up the way you just poorly treated me. I have to do that for myself. We have to save ourselves. We have to be the best parent ever to our inner child. We have to let them know, I'm your protector.
Right.
I'm going to make sure that we're taken care of. I don't need anyone else to do it. And just because mom and dad didn't do it, it's okay. They didn't know.
Right.
It didn't the thing is, we define ourselves by those things. We define ourselves by the family we were born into, or the behaviors that we've had, the things that we've done. They were just programs. Don't take them so seriously. You can literally dump them off your computer, be a new person right now, today, no matter what you have done.
Right.
Literally, the worst of things, criminal acts or violence. Today, in this moment, you can be somebody else. Let that version of yourself go. You're as innocent as the day you were born. It's your programs that are corrupt.
So, Lisa, I have to say, as you were speaking, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the 3.5 floppy disk and, like all these other things, the 5 1/4, like all these things that, I grew up on, and just how things have changed over time. And so for some of us who may be still living in that period, if you will, that's looking to reboot or to find a different type of upgrade, even a different type of operating system, where can they talk to you and say, hey, you know what, it's time for me to make a change? And so where can they find you, talk to you, all the above?
You can find me on TikTok, on Instagram. I assume that you will put those links in your show notes.
They will be.
Reparent Yourself is my handle. Like, I think it's reparent.yourself on one and reparent_yourself on the other. I'm not even sure. But I also have a website, reparent-yourself.com, and all my links are on there. I offer like 3-month coaching packages for people who want to be serious. It's like a 12-week program of let's reboot the system. And all of my coaching is tailored uniquely to the individual and what it is they need, whether you need help getting out of a toxic relationship. I also teach conscious parenting because you have to learn to parent your own inner child to be then a conscious parent. It's the first step. So once you learn how to do that, it automatically makes you a better parent to your own children. So you can find me at reparent-yourself.com. I also write children's books, and I have another website, awakentheone.org. I actually have a children's book right now out on Kickstarter. That ends July 6th of 2025, but it's coming out August 5th in all stores, all places that you can buy books. It's called Courage Finds Its Calm. And I write children's books because that is so important, that side of it. And so it's about emotional regulation. I actually have plans for over 39 children's books just that are based in the law of one and based in self-empowerment, and they're really high vibrational. So check those out. Courage Finds Your Calm. You can go into Barnes & Noble, Amazon, whatever, and type in Courage Finds Your Calm, and you can see my children's books that are available. So
Cool. Of course, your information will be in the show notes for whoever is out there and they're listening and they're riding their bike or swimming or hiking or whatever it is. Of course, you can always come back and find Lisa's information.
Yes. So, Lisa, before we let you go from this podcast today, we have one final question for you. You shared so much information about your inner child and how we need to connect to all of that. But my one question for you before we go is, if you could sing a duet with anyone in the world, living or deceased, who would you sing that duet with?
wow. Interesting question. Who would I sing that duet with? Izzy.
Izzy, okay.
Izzy is the illustrator to my books.
Okay.
She's also like my daughter.
Oh, great.
And we do a podcast together, which is going to be launching soon, called Reparenting Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I would sing with Izzy.
Wow.
Great.
Wow. That's nice. That's powerful, too.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that. So, do we need to put that?
Who cares about famous people
Mm.
or celebrities? If I don't know you,
Right.
it doesn't mean anything to me.
That's nice. Again, I mean, so for myself, I think that they're human just like we are, right? They're no different. Right. That's all, so, but I thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Yes, thank you so much for
I
being
really
with us.
enjoyed it. You guys are awesome.
Thank you
so
very
are
much. And we thank y'all very much for listening to the No Fruit Podcast, and we'll talk to you just a little bit later.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the No Fruit Podcast, where we bring you fruitful conversations, ripened wisdom, and love that's deeply rooted. We hope today's discussion left you feeling uplifted, encouraged, and ready to take on life's journey with purpose. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who could use a little inspiration in their day. You can catch up on past episodes, send us your thoughts, or learn more about us on social media. Until next time, stay rooted in love, and remember, every seed you plant today shapes the fruit of tomorrow. Take care, and we'll see you next time.